Good morning, friends of the law offices of Williams-Ruth. I am Brent Williams-Ruth, and today is Friday, March 28th, 2025. And today I am in the full lawyer garb as I was appearing in front of a Pierce County Superior Court judge in one of my matters. Now, for anyone who's an attorney that may be seeing this, you're going to be shocked to know that literally this case was dismissed mere moments before the motion was supposed to be heard. And that is the way of litigation. And so I just want to talk to people about how, even though there's a victory, it's a hollow victory to me because I much would have preferred to have a resolution without needing to spend the time and money to actually go into a litigation posture where you have to write the briefs, have the supporting declarations, all of the exhibits, filing it with the court, and then traveling to the court to appear in person, only to have it then be resolved. But sometimes that is the case and the way things go. But it tops off an amazing week. In the last 7-8 days, I have had the great honor of appearing in front of over 150 members of the public to talk about estate planning and basic estate needs for Washington State. And it feels amazing. I haven't been in front of the public this way since COVID started 5 years ago. And I'm guaranteed to be staying out that way because so much misinformation exists, even from other attorneys that are pushing clients to a specific product or type of estate plan because there's generally financial benefits for them, and clients thinking and assuming that there will be certain benefits. My number one takeaway, or I should say, document that I give for people to take away from these is a flyer created by the Washington State Bar Association Real Property, Probate, and Trust section that talks about revocable living trusts because it's straightforward, it's direct, and for two main elements that people think a revocable living trust can do, they don't. What are those two? Number one, a revocable living trust provides zero tax planning or tax strategy implementation. Number two, a revocable living trust does not shield you from liabilities. And it's confused. So when so many people hear this and they're like, but that's not what Susie Orman told me. And that's where we go into the discussion about how estate planning is unique from every single state. And whether you're in New York or Massachusetts or Florida or Georgia or California, Oregon or Washington, it's imperative that you work with a qualified legal professional in your jurisdiction to create the estate plan that's right for you. Now, finally, I want to talk about some of the things that have come out from these public sessions. And it is absolute fear and anxiety from members of the LGBTQ community, specifically and most importantly, from members of our trans community. There are questions, and people are seeing the headlines, they're seeing the proposals, they're seeing the hatred and vitriol, and they're wanting to know what they should do right now. My advice is to follow the law as it is. Once upon a time, there was a lawsuit going through the federal courts relating to activities done by a bar association that a member of the bar and profession didn't like. And it was making its way all the way to the United States Supreme Court. Washington attempted to get in front of that anticipated ruling from the United States Supreme Court. And the Washington State Supreme Court created a set of rules in anticipation of what that ruling came down as. And it wasn't quite perfect. And so now we have to do, when the Bar Association takes on certain activities, they have to make sure that that activity complies with both the court rule created by the Washington State Supreme Court and then separately the legal analysis of the what's called the Keller case. For those who are confused as to what I'm talking about, think about saying, okay, I think something is going to happen, so I'm going to go and proactively act. But then what actually happens isn't what it was, or was worse than what you thought it was going to be. And you're going to have to go back and spend more time and more money. This is what's happening in the LGBTQ community. Is marriage equality going to be overturned? I don't know. I fear yes. Okay. If and when that happens, will it also then invalidate the marriages that have happened since it was deemed lawful? I really hope not. But I'm not going to go preemptively split everything and rename everything and go back and refile my taxes. Because here's the real concern. The concern is that they will not only take away marriage equality, say that I'm not allowed to be married to my husband, and then go and say, and by the way, your marriage is invalidated on a federal level. Fine, you can be married in your state. Okay, but here's the deal. Since I've been married, I have filed an income tax return that's joint filing, or married filing jointly. Will they come and prosecute me for fraud and say, well, you weren't married? Look, marriage never existed. That's an absolute fear that is sitting in the heart of everyone who's paying attention and seeing what the current administration is doing. You don't believe me? Go and look up the Washington Post article about how Habitat for Humanity is being prosecuted for fraud because they applied for a grant to deal with work relating to climate change. Because under the new administration, there is no such thing as climate change. And anyone who was getting money from the government to work on climate change was committing a fraud against the people of the United States. So I understand there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of trepidation. What is absolutely essential and critical is to pay attention to what is actually passed and enacted into law. And at the appropriate time, work with your qualified legal professional to deal with the issues as they arrive. But trying to act preemptively will truly just spend money that may or may not be worthwhile. Some things may never come to pass. Some things may come to pass that are a lot worse than what you're even able to imagine. So you have to sit tight. You have to find yourself and wrap yourself within your community and the people you trust and know and love, and just be ready to take a appropriate responsive action when the time comes. All right. Have a great weekend. For me, it's the end of the month. I mean, even though Monday is the 31st, I am going to choose to wrap up, because I like to wrap up a month on a Friday. So for me, I'm starting a new month on Monday. So have a great weekend. Take care of yourself. And if you or anyone you know could benefit from the legal services provided by my office, feel free to reach out at 253-285-7751. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.